So far, we've only looked at log files that are local to the Splunk server itself. This is fine for getting a feel for the Splunk interface and features, but it's not very realistic. Normally, Splunk would receive logs from several different machines. To do this, first we'll need to enable the Splunk server to receive data from other instances. We'll go to Settings, and then Forwarding and Receiving under the Data menu. And down here under Receive Data, we'll click Add New. And the port it suggests is 9997, which is what we can use. You can use whatever port you want if this port isn't available on your machine. We'll click Save. Now we can open a terminal to set up our simulated servers using Docker. First, let's make sure our Docker image is up to date. The command is docker pull, and then we're pulling the image Ubuntu :22.04. And while we're at it, let's rebuild the container image. So docker build -t, that's the tag we're applying, log_generator, and then dot to build the local directory. If you've built this recently, it may go really quick, or this may take a couple of minutes. Let me clear the screen. And to start our containers, we'll just run docker compose up. This will stay running in the terminal window. When it's time to stop it, you can do that by pressing Control-C. So I'll show that now. Control-C, they'll stop. It takes about 10 seconds. But let's clear the screen and I'll start these up again. Once your containers are running, we can start forwarding logs to the Splunk server. Let's go back to Splunk. And we need to go to splunk.com and download the Universal Forwarder. The way to do this is to go to Products and then Free Trials and Downloads. And then scroll down to Universal Forwarder and click Free Download. At this point, it will prompt you to log in. So log in. And once you've logged in, it will take you to the download page. So the installation package we want to use is Linux. And you'll need to select the correct one for your processor. So if you're on a newer Mac, you might need to use the ARM processor. If you're on M1 or newer Apple hardware, and you want to select the DEB file. I am on an Intel processor, so that I use the 64-bit one here, and I want to select the .deb file, and I'll click Download. And once that pops up, I'm actually going to cancel it, and click this Download via command line. And I've noticed the website cuts off part of the pop-up here, but all we need to do is click the word Here to select this, and then right-click, Copy, and that will be our command that we'll paste into our containers. So go back to your terminal, and I'll open a second tab here. And I'll change into my log generator directory. To simulate an SSH connection to the container, so we're simulating a server here, we'll have to run a command using Docker. So the command is docker exec, so that's saying run a command within a container, and then -i for an interactive session, so we'll be able to type and see things, and then T to assign a terminal to it. And then we'll say the name of our container, in this case web1, and then the command we're running with Docker is bash. So we're just running a shell inside the container. So this is us kind of logged into the container. So now we can just paste in that download command and hit enter. And now that that's done, let me clear the screen. To install this package, we'll use dpkg-i, and then I'll just start typing Splunk and hit tab, and it'll autocomplete the name of the installer. I'll hit enter. Now that's complete. Let me clear the screen, and I'll change directory to opt Splunk, and I'll hit tab. It'll complete to forwarder, Splunk forwarder bin. And from here, we can start Splunk itself. So you use /Splunk, and we'll say start space. And then you can do this by itself, and it'll present you with the license agreement that you can review and accept. Or if you already accepted it, you can say -- accept - license. Next, it prompts us to create an administrator account. And this is actually the administrator account just on this particular server. It's the account for the Splunk forwarder. So it doesn't have to match your main Splunk server, and it doesn't need to be an actual user account on the system. I'm just going to call it admin and choose a password. You'll see a couple of errors here. Let me scroll up. Some of these are due to the way that the containers work. They don't actually run a full operating system. So it's trying to create a service here so that this would start at boot, but containers don't quite work that way. So we can just ignore these errors now. There's also a certificate error here that we can ignore since we don't really need to worry about security in our case. So let's clear that screen. Now that we have the forwarder installed, let's exit this container. Just type exit. And because Docker doesn't persist the state of the container, we want to commit these changes back to the base image. So the command for that is docker commit, and then we'll say web1 is the name of the container, and then the name of our image is log generator. Now we can safely stop our containers that we started with compose. So from here, hit Control-C. So now if we start that back up with docker compose up, the web2 container will also have the forwarder installed.